Music Awards last night on MTV, of course, and I know he said he didn't deserve the award, but he'd take it. I think he proved that he did deserve it from last night. I thought Justin Timberlake and the reuniting with NSYNC in lockstep, they were amazing. Kelli Kelli Catana with us this morning, and we're going to recap this, Leanne. You and I didn't get to see the whole thing, portions of it.
We're seeing highlights. Although I got to see the full Miley Cyrus
highlights,
show.
Question mark? Yeah. Let's start with Justin and stay on a positive note here. Okay.
Yes, well,
amazing.
There's only really two things to talk about last night, so there was the good and the bad. We'll talk about the good. So obviously, Justin Timberlake's performance, winning the Video Vanguard Award, was awesome, and he kind of 20-minute set on stage, he just showed them how it's done, right? Yeah. Like, he came out, he put on a show. The sound quality was not the best last night.
Did you find that the NSYNC members, like, you felt like some of their mics weren't on? At least I did. I felt that way. Like,
do you think that was on purpose? I don't know. Joey Fatone's, when he went back down, it didn't work, and he had to kind of jump into one of the other guys. But it wasn't about NSYNC last night, although that was what all of the hype was about, honestly. But no, you know what? Justin went and showed why. If you can put on a 20-minute live show during an award show like that, where he sang, for the most part, live. I mean, yes, there was backing tracks, but he did sing the whole thing. And he gave credit to NSYNC, which I think was very important, because he wouldn't be there if it wasn't for them. And absolutely the highlight of the show.
And what's funny is when you have such a highlight, then when you see something that isn't as polished, I'm being nice now, I think.
As polished, that's a very nice way of putting it.
And you know, it's funny, because in the lead up to the show, we were talking about this earlier, in the pre-show interview, and Sway was interviewing Miley Cyrus, because that's what everybody's talking about, he had almost positioned her. He talked about Madonna, then he talked about Britney, and then he talked about Miley. And, you know, then she went out and threw down not only a cringe-worthy performance, and maybe my age is showing, but there was absolutely nothing to her performance. Aside from sticking out her tongue and grinding anything that she could, there was no production value. The sound was terrible. Her vocals were bad.
I've been a backup dancer hired for this show, and then I was put into one of these dancing costumes. My talent's going to be so much better used as well.
Yeah, but it wasn't even that. It was just bad. It was the shock value, and hey, it worked. Everybody's talking about Miley this morning, but they're talking about her in the way they talked about Britney after that terrible meltdown when she performed "Give Me More."
Here's my thing here. First of all, I liked just a while ago when I was more innocent and didn't know what twerking meant. I liked that time in my life, and I can never get it back.
Aren't we done with twerking? It's over, right?
It's so old,
though. Can we let it go?
Okay, so here it is. That's what that is. So the thing is that if I feel like if I saw Rihanna or anyone else do it, because they have rhythm and movement that is not as awkward. The juxtaposition of awkwardness and then the overtly sexual moves really stuck out to me.
She is completely awkward. I also think the combination of 40-year-old Robin Thicke and 20-year-old Miley was a little
surprised he said yes to that.
Off.
Blown away.
But you know what? Robin Thicke is also, it was his first big song, so he's getting a lot of mainstream attention. I can't fault him for being a part of this.
The reaction is almost uniform from everybody on our Facebook page, saying it was either like gross, I was offended about that, but people just saying it was just bad.
It was a bad performance. It was cringeworthy. I'm embarrassed for her. It was, like I said, it was right up there with Britney's "Give Me More" performance, and the reactions of everybody in the auditorium as well was the best.
Did you see the Smith family? The shot of the Smith family?
There's a GIF now too going around of Selena Gomez and Taylor Swift's reaction of the, oh no.
My gosh.
Those two had their own little conversations going. Taylor Swift, Selena Gomez. That's another couple of moments you want to get in. So talk about the unfolding of the heartbreak.
Taylor Swift certainly gave us a lot of good moments. Obviously, there's the whole Taylor Swift, Harry Styles, when they used to date. And Taylor Swift is one who is known for capitalizing on her romance and her breakups, obviously. So when she won her award for her song that was written about John Mayer. And she had mentioned that it was about him, and obviously they cut to Harry Styles. And then when One Direction was on the stage presenting an award, there was an unfortunate camera cutaway to
a
Taylor.
very lip-readable moment.
Yeah, a very lip-readable moment to Taylor and Selena. Maybe saying, you know,
shut up.
A few things. Maybe shut up. Maybe something else.
Maybe an extra word in there.
Maybe an extra word in there.
And then in this acceptance speech, she did say, "You know who you are. Thanks for having me write this song." So a shot at John Mayer.
Because now I have this. Right?
And because Katy Perry, who is now dating John Mayer, was closing the show, so I'm quite confident she knows that he would have been watching or have heard about it anyway.
Right. Yeah. Did you feel like the broadcast was a little bit of like people performing and then Taylor's reaction? They cut to her so often.
Yes, but Taylor knows how to work the crowd, right? And maybe something that Miley can learn from is that there is a way to make people talk about you without the way they're talking about you.
Right.
I found the entire show a little bit, the sound quality was bad.
Yeah.
The breaks in between, there was a lot of dead air coming up. I'm not
there was
sure.
a lot of that. The production, a little bit of the production value, and I don't know, we were talking about this. I may now be out of that demographic. Even the graphics, even the fonts of the way they had
the written things on
the written thing. I found that I was like, I might be above this now.
But I think you can. But then when you see somebody like Justin Timberlake perform, Bruno Mars gave an excellent performance. Macklemore gave an excellent performance. Those kind of got overshadowed by the bad. There was the good, and then there was the bad.
It was so fun to follow you on Twitter last night.
We had a good time chatting about it. Yeah.
KelliDaisy.com. You got to check it out. It's an awesome blog. So, Kelli Catana, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And her Twitter account didn't blow up, which is always a good sign.
That's good, because that
learned.
happens.
Yeah.
She goes nuclear.